My name is Elchanan Miller. I was born and raised in Jerusalem to Canadian parents. When I was 13, in 7th grade, I started studying Arabic. And that started a journey of 30 years now. I just turned 43. 30 years of working with the Middle East, with Islam, with Arabic. I studied Middle East history for my master's degree at Hebrew University and worked as a journalist for about 5 years for the Times of Israel as the Arab Affairs reporter, later as a freelance, and then went back to school and studied Judaism and became a rabbi with the vision of using my Arabic to create religious dialogue with Arabic speakers, Muslims and Christians. And that's what I've been doing really for the last 8 years. I've been working on my own project called People of the Book, which is an educational platform that teaches Judaism and Jewish history to Arab audiences. So this is both a professional and a spiritual journey and a vocation, my life mission right now.
اليهود شعب صغير. يقدر عدد يهود العالم بحوالي 15 إلى 16.
Israel is located in the middle of the Middle East, in the middle of the Arab world. 21% of Israel's population are Arabs, and of course our neighbors are Palestinians and Syrians and Jordanians. It's very, very important, I think, both for religious and for political and strategic reasons to learn Arabic. But for me, it really started as an emotional thing. The moment I started learning Arabic in school, I felt an immediate affinity to the language. I felt its connection to Hebrew. And I just wanted to study it as much as possible and at the highest level, which is what I did. When I was studying to be a rabbi, I was invited to teach Judaism to a group of Palestinians, and a very small number came, and they weren't really interested in the philosophy or the theology. They were interested in the day-to-day. Why do Jews eat what they eat? What is kosher? What's the difference between kosher and halal? How do Jews pray? What are the prophets for Jews? How do we pray? What movements do we do? So very, very practical questions. And that curiosity among the Palestinians I met led me to realize that there must be hundreds of thousands, if not hundreds of millions of Arabs and Muslims out there curious about Jewish practice who have actually no one to ask. There are no more Jews, almost, with the exception of Morocco and Tunisia. No Jews still live in the Arab world, and really there's no one explaining Judaism in Arabic from a Jewish perspective. Of course, there are many Muslims and many Christians who do this, but not from the lived experience of the believer. And that's what I wanted to fill, that gap. So that's how I started this program, and I can see that there's huge demand for it. There's hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I get lots of questions every day. So it's very satisfying to see that I was right in diagnosing this void.
مرحبا أعزائي المشاهدين، وأهلا وسهلا فيكم في حلقة جديدة من مسلسل جارك القريب. أنا الحخام الحنان ميلر، ومعي الشاب من غزة حمزة أبو هويدي. أهلا فيك.
أهلا فيك.
شكرا كتير إنك يعني جيت بالدعوة وجيت لهون.
العفو، بتشرف.
So many people don't really know what Judaism stands for. I don't think they know that we are a purely monotheistic religion that doesn't believe that God has a son, for example, like in Christianity. That's one type of misunderstanding. And there's also a lot of, I would say, refusal to recognize Jews not just as a religion, like Islam and Christianity, but also as a people. And Judaism is really unique in that sense, that it both sees itself as a people, and within the religion itself, God addresses the Jews as a collective, as a people, not just as a faith. That's still something I think that the Arab and Muslim world have a hard time grappling with. And then there are other differences that have to do with how Jews see the issue of prophecy, how Jews relate to God. There are differences there between the Quran and the Torah, and I get asked a lot about those things. At first, I was very worried about controversy. I wanted to smooth over the problems and the controversies and show the shared values and the shared traditions. That was very easy to do with things like food, with things like some festivals. It became more difficult when we spoke about more abstract things like prophets, like God. I'm not afraid of controversy. I think mature people can understand that there's divergence and that there's diversity between religions. And comparisons is not a bad thing, in my opinion. As long as it's not mine is better than yours, That's not what I do. I don't try to prove Judaism. I don't, of course, try to convert people to Judaism. That's not something that Jews usually do, to try to convert other believers. I do try to show my viewers the original shared values, traditions, ideas that existed in the ancient world and that spread and exist both in Judaism and Islam. So yes, the commonalities, but not trying to sort of show superiority of one religion. Definitely feel that Arabic is a main tool. Knowledge of the language breaks down barriers. It's enough that an Arab viewer in Morocco or Iraq or Lebanon or Syria, countries that my country, Israel, doesn't have diplomatic relations with, just the image of me wearing a kippah, right, wearing this thing, and speaking Arabic and speaking about Islam in a respectful way, that in itself creates an emotional change, I think, in my viewers. And Arabic was offered to me as a language in my school. So Arabic in a way came to me. It wasn't me necessarily looking for it in the first stage. But I was very, very happy to see that immediately when the project launched in the summer of 2017, most of the viewers were Arabs. So I basically abandoned all other languages that I planned to use, English, Hebrew, French, and now I'm focusing solely on Arabic because those are the hearts and minds that I really want to affect and change in my project. I think faith is something that can unite us as a framework, and it's something that we should encourage as long as we respect human values, human dignity, and human life. I think religion can enrich us and actually bring us together. There's a phrase in Arabic that says, "Utlub al-ilm walau fi as-Sin." Search for knowledge even in China, even in the corners of the earth. Knowledge can't harm you, it can only help you. It can help you in a negative way if you see the other as an enemy and you want to overcome them. But more importantly, it can help you if you want to create friendships and lasting relationships. I think just like I try to educate myself even about ideas and opinions I disagree with, I think any Arab who learns more about Jews will find himself much more enriched. He'll find that his knowledge and understanding of Islam is even richer than it used to be. So I would really encourage anyone, and today with social media, with our mobile devices, it's so easy to take advantage of this richness and study about the other. Ahl al-Kitab, people of the book, is a name I use because it's a unifying term. It unifies Muslims, Christians, and Jews as one, under one tent of faith, of divine messages to the people of the world. And I'm optimistic that this project will continue to grow. I'm happy that it's being used already as a resource in classrooms, in universities, to teach audiences and students about Judaism. And I hope that it'll actually reach mainstream education systems and grow even further and bring people closer together.